Record to the clap.
Recording.
Bless you, Bob.
We're going to make a record.
We're making one of them vinyls. Cool. Hello, everybody. Now and in the future, we are Miscreant Theatre Collective. It's part of our Zoom reading series. We read plays. Today and yesterday, we were reading a play by Sarah Ruhl called Person, Woman, Man, Camera, TV.
Can you repeat that in 20 minutes?
What?
Can you repeat that in 20 minutes?
We'll see. The interesting thing that it is named this is because it has a person, a woman, a man, a camera, and TV, I believe. Who knows? It's all subjective. Art is just like this play, a myth. Yeah, this play was it's a 2003 play, and also has an opera based off of it, which premiered this year. The year of our
Content.
2020.
The year of our Lord of the Underworld, 2020.
The year of our,
Yes.
yeah, the year of our nasty, interesting man, 2020. I'm Doron. I will be reading stage directions. We have a very small amount of people reading today, so everybody's going to be reading for multiple roles, except for Alyssa. And everybody's going to do so fantastic. And yeah, it'll prove to be a nasty, interesting man play. Person, woman, camera, TV. Cool. Yeah, that's all I have to say right now. If we want to go through and introduce ourselves, let's go in alphabetical order of your name.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alyssa, and I am reading for Eurydice tonight.
Bob comes after Alyssa, so I guess I'm next. I'm playing Eurydice's father and Little Stone.
It's you, Tom.
Everybody's doing their ABCs.
All right. I am Thomas. I'm going to be playing a nasty, interesting man / the Lord of the Underworld, and Loudstone.
I'm Val. I'll be reading for Orpheus and the Big Stone.
Val's going to be very big stoned tonight.
Val always has big stones. We can talk about that later.
I've got big stones in my kidneys.
Oh,
right.
That hurts.
We will begin. First movement, scene 1. A young man, Orpheus, and a young woman, Eurydice. They wear swimming outfits from the 1950s. Orpheus makes a sweeping gesture with his arm, indicating the sky.
All those birds? Thank you.
He nods. They make a quarter turn, and he makes a sweeping gesture, indicating an invisible sea.
And the sea? For me? When?
Orpheus opens his hands.
Now? It's mine already?
Orpheus nods.
Wow.
They kiss. He indicates the sky.
Surely not. Surely not the sky and the stars, too.
Orpheus nods.
That's very generous.
Orpheus nods.
Perhaps too generous?
Orpheus shakes his head no.
Thank you. Now, walk over there.
Orpheus walks in a straight line on an unseen boardwalk.
Don't look at me.
He turns his face away from hers and walks.
Now, stop.
He stops. She runs and jumps into his arms. He doesn't quite catch her and they fall down together. She crawls on top of him and kisses his eyes.
What are you thinking about?
Music.
How can you think about music? You either hear it or you don't.
I'm hearing it then.
Oh. I read a book today.
Did you?
Yes. It was very interesting.
That's good.
Don't you want to know what it was about?
Of course.
There were stories about people's lives, how some come out well and others come out badly.
Do you love the book?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
It can be interesting to see if other people, like dead people who wrote books, agree or disagree with what you think.
Why?
Because it makes you a larger part of the human community. It had very interesting arguments.
Oh, and arguments that are interesting are good arguments?
Well, yes.
I didn't know an argument could be interesting. I thought it should be right or wrong.
Well, these particular arguments were very interesting.
Maybe you should make up your own thoughts instead of reading them in a book.
I do think up my own thoughts.
I know you do. I love how you love books. Don't be mad. I made up a song for you today.
Did you?
Yep. It's not interesting or not interesting. It just is.
Will you sing it for me?
It has too many parts.
Let's go in the water.
They start walking arm in arm on extensive unseen boardwalks toward the water.
Wait. Remember this melody.
He hums a barred melody.
Ah.
I'm bad at remembering melodies. Why don't you remember it?
I have 11 other ones in my head, making for a total of 12. You have it?
Yes, I think so.
Let's hear it.
She sings the melody. She misses a few notes. She's not the best singer in the world.
Pretty good. The rhythm's a little off. Here, clap it out.
She claps. He claps the rhythmic sequence for her. She tries to imitate. She is still off.
Is that right?
We'll practice.
I don't need to know about rhythm. I have my books.
Don't books have rhythm?
Kind of. Let's go in the water.
Will you remember my melody under the water?
Yes, I will always remember your melody. It will be imprinted on my heart like wax.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When are you going to play the whole song?
When I get 12 instruments.
Where are you going to get 12 instruments?
I'm going to make each strand of your hair into an instrument. Your hair will stand on end as it plays my music and becomes a hair orchestra. It will fly you up into the sky.
I don't know if I want to be an instrument.
Why?
Won't I fall down when the song ends?
That's true. But the clouds will be so moved by your music that they will fill up with water until they become heavy, and you'll sit on one and fall gently down to earth. How about that?
Okay.
They stop walking for a moment. They gaze at each other.
It's settled then.
What is?
Your hair will be my orchestra, and I love you.
I love you too. Is that right? I have a couple of pages that seem out of order. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. No more repeats after that.
Okay.
Too.
Oh, I pulled up the wrong one. Sorry, now I'm the one in the wrong spot. How will you remember?
Where are we?
That I love you?
We're 2 pages down on the PDF. The PDF has 2 repeating pages in it.
Okay, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That I love you?
Yes.
That's easy. I can't help it.
You never know. I'd better tie a string around your finger to remind you.
Is there string at the ocean?
I always have string in case I come upon a broken instrument.
He takes out a string from his pocket. He takes her left hand.
This hand.
He wraps string deliberately around her fourth finger.
Is this too tight?
No, it's fine.
There. Now you'll remember.
That's a very particular finger.
Yes.
You're aware of that?
Yes.
How aware?
Very aware.
Orpheus. Are we?
You tell me.
Yes, I think so.
You think so?
I wasn't thinking. I mean, yes, just yes.
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 Yes!
May our lives be full of music.
Music. He picks her up and throws her into the sky.
Maybe you could also get me another ring, a gold one, to put over the string one. You know.
Whatever makes you happy. Do you still have my melody?
It's right here.
She points to her temple. They look at each other. A silence.
What are you thinking about?
Music.
Her face falls.
Just kidding. I was thinking about you. And music.
Let's go in the water. I'll race you.
She puts on her swimming goggles.
I'll race you.
I'll race you.
I'll race you.
No, I'll race you.
They race toward the water. Scene 2, the father, dressed in a gray suit, reads from a letter.
Dear Eurydice, a letter for you on your wedding day. There is no choice of any importance in life but the choosing of the beloved. I haven't met Orpheus, but he seems like a serious young man. I understand he's a musician. If I were to give a speech at your wedding, I would start with one or two funny jokes, and then I might offer some words of advice. I would say, cultivate the arts of dancing and small talk. Everything in moderation. Court the companionship and respect of dogs. Grilling a fish or toasting bread without burning requires singleness of purpose, vigilance, and steadfast watching. Keep quiet about politics, but vote for the right man. Take care to change the light bulbs. Continue to give yourself to others because that's the ultimate satisfaction in life. To love, accept, honor, and help others. As for me, this is what it's like being dead. The atmosphere smells, and there are strange high-pitched noises, like a tea kettle always boiling over. But it doesn't seem to bother anyone. And for the most part, there is a pleasant atmosphere, and you can work and socialize, much like at home. I'm working in the business world, and it seems that here, you can better see the far-reaching consequences of your actions. Also, I'm one of the few dead people who still remembers how to read and write. That's a secret. If anyone finds out, they might tip me in the river again. I write you letters. I don't know how to get them to you. Love, your father.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. It falls on the ground. Wedding music. In the underworld, the father walks in a straight line as though he is walking his daughter down the aisle. He is affectionate, then solemn, then glad, then solemn, then amused, then solemn. He looks at his imaginary daughter. He looks straight ahead. He acknowledges the guests at the wedding. He gets choked up. He looks at his daughter and smiles an embarrassed smile for getting choked up. He looks straight ahead, calm. He walks. Suddenly, he checks his watch. He exits in a hurry. Scene 3, Eurydice by a water pump. The noise of a party from far off.
Oh, I hate parties. And a wedding party is the biggest party of all. All the guests arrived, and Orpheus is taking a shower. He's always taking a shower when the guests arrive, so he doesn't have to greet them. Then I have to greet them. A wedding is for daughters and fathers. The mothers all dressed up trying to look like young women. But a wedding is for a father and a daughter. They stopped being married to each other on that day. I always thought there would be more interesting people at my wedding.
She drinks a cup of water from the water pump. A nasty, interesting man wearing a trench coat appears.
Are you a homeless person?
No.
I'm on my way to a party where there are really very interesting people. Would you care to join me?
No. I just left my own party.
You were giving a party and you just left.
I was thirsty.
You must be a very interesting person to leave your own party like that.
Thank you.
You mustn't care at all what other people think of you. I always say that's a mark of a really interesting person, don't you?
I guess.
So would you like to accompany me to this interesting affair?
No, thank you. I just got married, you see.
Oh, lots of people do that.
That's true. Lots of people do.
What's your name?
Eurydice?
He looks at her hungry.
Eurydice.
Goodbye, then.
Goodbye.
She exits. He sits by the water pump. He notices a letter on the ground. He picks it up and reads it. To himself,
Dear Eurydice.
musty dripping sounds. Scene 4. The father tries to remember how to do the jitterbug in the underworld. He does the jitterbug with an imaginary partner. He has fun. Orpheus and Eurydice dance together at their wedding. They are happy. They have had some champagne. They sing together.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, 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 don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching, I don't know this hole.
On the other side of the stage, the father checks his watch. He stops doing the jitterbug. He exits in a hurry.
Don't go walking down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't go walking down Lover's Lane with anyone else but me.
Till I come marching home.
Oh, I'm warm. Are you warm?
Yes.
I'm going to get a drink of water.
Don't go.
I'll be right back.
Promise?
Yes.
I can't stand to let you out of my sight today.
Silly goose.
They kiss. Scene 5. Eurydice at the water pump, getting a glass of water. The nasty, interesting man appears.
Oh, you're still here.
Yes, I forgot to tell you something. I have a letter addressed to Eurydice. That's you. From your father.
That's not possible.
He wrote down some thoughts for your wedding day.
Let me see.
I left it at home. It got delivered to my elegant high-rise apartment by mistake.
Why didn't you say so before?
You left in such a hurry.
From my father.
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
I knew he'd send something.
It'll just take a moment. I live around the block. What an interesting dress you're wearing.
Thank you.
Scene 6. Orpheus from the water pump.
Eurydice? Eurydice?
Scene 7. The sound of a door closing. The interesting apartment. A giant loft space with no furniture. Eurydice and the man enter, panting.
Voila!
You're very high up.
Yes, I am.
I feel a little faint.
It'll pass.
Have you ever thought about installing an elevator?
No, I prefer stairs. I think architecture is so interesting, don't you?
Oh, yes. So, where's the letter?
But isn't this an interesting building?
It's so high up.
Yes.
There's no one here. I thought you were having a party.
I like to celebrate things quietly with a few other interesting people, don't you?
She tilts her head to the side and stares at him.
Would you like some champagne?
Maybe some water.
Water it is. Make yourself comfortable.
He switches on Brazilian mood music. He exits. Eurydice looks around.
I can't stay long.
She looks out the window. She is very high up.
I can see my wedding from here. The people are so small. They're dancing. There's Orpheus. He's not dancing.
From off stage,
So who's this guy you're marrying?
His name is Orpheus.
as he attempts to open champagne,
Orpheus. Not a very interesting name. I've heard it before.
Maybe you've heard of him. He's kind of famous. He plays the most beautiful music in the world, actually.
I can't hear you.
So the letter was delivered here today
That's right.
through the post.
It was mysterious.
the sound of champagne popping. He enters with one glass of champagne.
Voila!
He drinks the champagne.
So, Eurydice, tell me one thing. Name me one person you find interesting.
Why?
I'm just making conversation.
He sways a little to the music.
Right. All the interesting people I know are dead or speak French.
I don't speak French, Eurydice.
He takes one step toward her. She takes one step back.
I'm sorry, I have to go. There's no letter, is there?
Of course there's a letter. It's right here.
He pats his breast pocket.
Eurydice, I'm not interesting, but I'm strong. You could teach me to be interesting. I would listen. Orpheus is too busy listening to his own thoughts. There's music in his head. Try to pluck the music out and it bites you. I'll bet you had an interesting thought today, for instance.
She tilts her head to the side, quizzical.
I
bet you're always having them. The way you tilt your head to the side and stare.
She jerks her head back up, musty, dripping sounds.
I feel dizzy all of a sudden. I want my husband. I think I'd better go now.
You're free to go wherever you like.
I know. I think I'll go now. In fact, I'll just take my letter first, if you don't mind.
She holds her hand out for the letter. He takes her hand.
Relax.
She takes her hand away.
Goodbye.
She turns to exit. He blocks the doorway.
Wait, Eurydice, don't go. I love you.
Oh, no.
You need to get yourself a real man, a man with broad shoulders like me. Orpheus has long fingers that would tremble to pet a bull or pluck a bee from a hive.
How do you know about my husband's fingers?
A man who can put his big arm around your little shoulders as he leads you through a crowd. A man who answers the door at parties. A man with big hands. With big, stupid hands like potatoes. A man who can carry a cow in labor.
The man backs Eurydice against the wall.
My lips were meant to kiss your eyelids. That's obvious.
Close your eyes then.
He closes his eyes, expecting a kiss. She takes the letter from his breast pocket. She slips by him and opens the door to the stairwell. He opens his eyes. She looks at the letter.
It's his handwriting.
Of course it is.
He reaches for her.
Yeah, goodbye.
She runs for the stairs. She wavers off balance at the top of the stairwell.
Oh, don't do that. You'll trip. There are 600 stairs.
Orpheus.
From the water pump.
Eurydice!
She runs, trips, and pitches down the stairs, holding her letter. She follows the letter down, down, down. Blackout. A clatter, strange sounds. Xylophones, brass bands, sounds of falling, sounds of vertigo, sounds of breathing. Second movement. The underworld. There's no set change, strange watery noises. Drip, drip, drip. The movement to the underworld is marked by the entrance of stones. Scene 1.
We
are a chorus of stones.
I'm a little stone.
I'm a big stone.
I'm a loud stone.
We are all three stones. We live with the dead people in the land of the dead.
Eurydice was a great musician. Orpheus was his wife.
Orpheus was a great musician. Eurydice was his wife. She died.
And then he played the saddest music. Even we,
the stones,
cried when we heard it.
The sound of 3 drops of water hitting a pond.
Oh, look, she is coming into the land of the dead now.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, we might say, poor Eurydice. But stones don't feel bad.
But stones don't feel bad. Oh, that's loud, I'm sorry.
But stones don't feel bad for dead people.
The sound of an elevator ding. An elevator door opens. Inside the elevator, it is raining. Eurydice gets rained on inside the elevator. She carries a suitcase and an umbrella. She is dressed in the kind of 1930s suit that women wore when they eloped. She looks bewildered. The sound of an elevator ding. Eurydice steps out of the elevator. The elevator door closes. She walks toward the audience and opens her mouth, trying to speak. There is a great humming noise. She closes her mouth. The humming noise stops. She opens her mouth for the second time, attempting to tell her story to the audience. There is a great humming noise. She closes her mouth. The humming noise stops. She has a tantrum of despair. The stones to the audience.
Eurydice wants to speak to you. But she can't speak your language anymore. She talks the language of dead people now. It's a very quiet language.
Like if the pores in your face opened up and talked.
Like potatoes sleeping in dirt.
Little Stone and Loud Stone look at Big Stone as though that were a dumb thing to say.
Pretend that you understand her, or she'll be embarrassed.
Yes. Pretend for a moment that you understand the language of stones.
Listen to her the way you would listen to your own daughter if she died too young and tried to speak to you across long distances.
Eurydice shakes out her umbrella. She approaches the audience. This time she can speak.
There was a roar and a coldness. I think my husband was with me. What was my husband's name?
Eurydice turns to the stones.
My husband's name, do you know it?
The stones shrug their shoulders.
How strange. I don't remember. It was horrible to see his face when I died. His eyes were 2 black birds and they flew into me. I said, no, stay where you are. He needs you in order to see. When I got through the cold, they made me swim in a river and I forgot his name. I forgot all the names. I know his name starts with my mouth shaped like a ball of twine or I forget. They took me to a tiny boat. I only just fit inside. I looked at the oars and I wanted to cry. I tried to cry, but I just drooled a little. I'll try now.
She tries to cry but finds that she can't.
Happiness would be to cry.
She takes a breath.
I was not lonely, only alone with myself, begging myself not to leave my own body, but I was leaving. Goodbye, head, I said. It inclined itself a little, as though to nod to me in a solemn kind of way.
She turns to the stones.
How do you say goodbye to yourself?
They shake their heads. A train whistle. Eurydice steps onto a platform, surveying a large crowd.
A train?
The station is like a train, but there is no train.
The train has wheels that are not wheels.
There is the opposite of a wheel, and the opposite of smoke, and the opposite of a train.
A train pulls away.
Oh. I'm waiting for someone to meet me, I think.
Eurydice's father approaches and takes her baggage.
Eurydice.
At last, a porter to meet me. Do you happen to know where the bank is? I need money. I've just arrived. I need to exchange my money at the Bureau de Change. I didn't bring traveler's checks because I left in such a hurry. They didn't even let me pack my suitcase. There's nothing in it. That's funny, right? Funny, haha. I suppose I can buy new clothes here. I would really love a bath.
Eurydice.
What is that language you're speaking? It gives me tingles. Say it again.
Eurydice.
Ooh, it's like a fruit. Again.
Eurydice. I'm your father.
Eurydice. I'm your father. How funny. You remind me of something, but I can't understand a word you're saying. Say it again.
Your father. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Up.
She doesn't understand you.
Doesn't understand you. She's
Dead now, too.
Dead now, too.
You have to speak in the
have to
language
speak the
of
language
stones.
of stone.
You're dead now. I'm dead too.
Yes, that's right. I need a reservation for the fancy hotel.
When you were alive, I was your father.
Father
Father is not
is
a
not a
word
word
that
that
dead people understand.
understand. He is what we call subversive.
When you were alive, I was your tree.
My tree. Yes, the tall one in the backyard. I used to sit all day in its shade.
She sits at the feet of her father.
Ah, there. Shade.
There was a problem here.
Is there any entertainment at the hotel? Any dancing ladies? Like with the great big fans?
I named you Eurydice. Your mother named all the other children. But Eurydice, I chose for you.
Be careful, sir.
Eurydice, I wanted to remember your name. I asked the stones, they said, forget the names. The names make you remember.
We told you how it works.
One day it would not stop raining. I heard your name inside the rain. Somewhere between the drops, I saw falling letters. Each letter of your name, I began to translate. E. I remembered elephants. U. I remembered ulcers and under. R. I remembered reindeers. I saw them putting their black noses in the snow. Y. Youth and yellow. D. Dog, dig, daughter, day. Time pointed to my head. The days of the week, hours, months.
The tree talks so beautifully.
Don't
Don't
listen.
listen.
I feel suddenly hungry. Where's the porter who met me at the station?
Here I am.
Oh, I would like a continental breakfast, please. Ooh, maybe some rolls and butter. Oh, and jam. Please take my suitcase to my room, if you would.
I'm sorry, miss, but there are no rooms here.
What? No rooms? Where do people sleep?
People don't sleep here.
I have to say I'm very disappointed. It's been such a tiring day. I've been traveling all day, first on a river, then on an elevator that rained, then on a train. I thought someone would meet me at the station.
Eurydice is on the verge of tears.
Don't cry.
Don't cry.
I don't know where I am, and there's all these stones, and I hate them. They're horrible. I want a bath. I thought someone would meet me at the station.
Don't be sad. I'll take your luggage to your room. There are
no rules.
He picks up her luggage. He gives the stones a dirty look. The sound of water and rusty pipes. Scene 2, Orpheus writes a letter to Eurydice.
Dear Eurydice, I miss you. No, that's not enough.
He crumples up the letter. He writes a new letter. He thinks. He writes.
Dear Eurydice, symphony for 12 instruments.
A pause. He hears the music in his head. He conducts.
Love, Orpheus.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. Scene 3. The father creates a room out of string for Eurydice. He makes 4 walls and a door out of string. Time passes. It takes time to build a room out of string. Eurydice observes the underworld. There isn't much to observe. She plays hopscotch without chalk. Every so often the father looks at her, happy to see her, while he makes a room out of string. She looks back at him, polite. Scene 4. The father has completed the string room. He gestures for Eurydice to enter. She enters with her suitcase.
Thank you. That will do.
She nods to her father. He doesn't leave.
Oh, I suppose you want a tip.
He shakes his head no.
Would you run a bath for me?
Yes, miss.
He exits the string room. Eurydice opens her suitcase. She is surprised to find nothing inside. She sits down inside her suitcase. Scene 5.
Dear Eurydice, I love you. I'm going to find you. I play the saddest music now that you're gone. You know I hate writing letters. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope it finds you. Love, Orpheus.
He drops the letter as though into a mail slot. Scene 6. The father enters the string room with a letter on a silver tray.
There is a letter for you, miss.
Letter?
He nods.
A letter.
He
It's
hands her
addressed to you.
the letter.
There's dirt on it.
Eurydice wipes the dirt off the letter. She opens it. She scrutinizes it. She does not know how to read it. So she puts it on the ground, takes off her shoes, stands on the letter, and shuts her eyes. She thinks without language for the thought, the melody, there's no place like home.
Miss,
What is it?
would you like me to read you the letter?
Read me the letter.
You can't do it with your feet.
The father guides her off the letter, picks it up, and begins to read.
It's addressed to Eurydice. That's you.
That's you?
Yes, you. It says, I love you.
I love you.
It's like you're true.
Tall?
The father considers.
Green?
It's like sitting in the shade.
Oh,
It's like sitting in the shade with no clothes on.
oh. Yes.
I'm going to find you. I play the saddest music.
Music.
He whistles a note.
Like that.
She smiles.
Go on.
You know I hate writing letters. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope he finds you. Love, Orpheus.
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 That word, it's like I can't breathe. Orpheus. My husband.
Scene 7.
Dear Eurydice, last night I dreamed that we climbed Mount Olympus and we started to make love. and all the strands of your hair were little faucets, and water was streaming out of your head. And I said, why is water coming out of your hair? And you said, gravity is very compelling. And then we jumped off Mount Olympus and flew through the crowds so you could, and you held your knee to your chest because you skinned it on a sharp cloud. And then we fell into a salty lake. Then I woke up and the window frightened me, and I thought, Eurydice is dead. Then I thought, who is Eurydice? Then the whole room started to float, and I thought, what are people? Then my bedclothes smiled at me with a crooked green mouth, and I thought, who am I? It scares me, Eurydice. Please come back. Love, Orpheus.
Scene 8. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
I'm sorry, I lost my place. Give me a minute.
We're on page 24 of the PDF. Read 372 of the play itself.
Did you get my letters?
No. You wrote me letters?
Every day.
What did they say?
Oh, nothing much. The usual stuff.
Tell me the names of my mother and brothers and sisters.
I don't think that's a good idea. It will make you sad.
I want to know.
It's a long time to be sad.
I'd rather be sad.
Being sad is not allowed.
That is not allowed.
Oh.
Act like a
A
stone.
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 Oh, sorry. Scene 9. Time shifts. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Teach me another.
Ostracize.
What does it mean?
To exclude. The Greeks decided who to banish. They wrote the name of the banished person on a piece of white pottery called ostrakon.
Ostrakon. Another.
Peripatetic. From the Greek, it means to walk slowly, speaking of weighty matters in bare feet.
Peripatetic. A learned fruit wandering through the snow. Another.
Defunct.
Defunct.
It means dead in a very abrupt way. Not the way I died, which was slowly, but all at once, in cowboy boots.
Tell me a story of when you were little.
Well, there was a time your uncle shot at me with a BB gun, and I was mad at him, so I swallowed a nail. Then there was a time I went to a dude ranch, and I was riding a horse, and I lassoed a car. The lady driving the car got out and spanked me. And your grandmother spanked me too.
Remember the Christmas when she gave me a doll and said, if I see one more doll, I am going to throw up.
I think Grandma was a little surprised when you said that.
Tell me a story about your mother.
The most vivid recollection I have of Mother was seeing her at parties and in the house playing piano. When she was younger, she was extremely animated. She could really play the piano. She could play everything by ear. They called her Flaming Sally.
I never saw Grammy play the piano.
She was never the same after my father died. My father was a very gentle man.
Tell me a story about your father.
My father and I used to duck hunt. He would call up old Frank the night before and ask, where are the ducks moving tonight? Frank was a guide and a farmer. Old Frank, he could really call the ducks. It was hard for me to kill the poor little ducks, but you get caught up in the fervor of it. You'd get as many as 10 ducks. If you went over the limit, there were only so many ducks per person. Father would throw the ducks to the side of the creek. We were paddling on and made sure there was no game warden. If the warden was gone, he'd run back and get the extra ducks and throw them in the back of the car. Father was never a great conversationalist, but he loved to rhapsodize about hunting. He would always say, if I ever have to die, it's in a duck pond. And he did.
There was something I always wanted to ask you. It was how to do something or a story or someone's name? I forget.
Don't worry, you'll remember. There's plenty of time.
Scene 10, Orpheus writes a letter.
Dear Eurydice, I wonder if you miss reading books in the underworld.
Orpheus holds the collected works of Shakespeare. With a long string attached, he drops it slowly to the ground. Scene 11, Eurydice holds the collected works of Shakespeare.
What is this?
She opens it. She doesn't understand it. She throws the book on the ground.
What are you?
She is wary of it, as though it might bite her. She tries to understand the book. She tries to make the book do something to the book.
What do you do? What do you do? Are you a thing or a person? Say something. I hate you.
She stands on the book, trying to read it.
God damn you.
She throws the book at the stones. They duck.
That
Is not allowed.
Drops of water. Time passes. The father picks up the book. He brushes it off. The father teaches Eurydice how to read. She looks over his shoulder as he reads out loud from King Lear.
We two alone will sing like birds in the cage. When thou dost ask my blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness, so we'll live and pray and sing.
Scene 12, Orpheus with the telephone.
For Eurydice, E-U-R-Y, that's right. No, there's no last name. It's not like that. What? No, I don't know the country. I don't know the city either. I don't know the street. I don't know. It probably starts with a vowel. Would you mind checking, please? I would really appreciate it. You can't enter a name without a city. Why not? Well, thank you for trying. Wait, miss, it's a special case. She's dead. Well, thank you for trying. You have a nice day too.
He hangs up.
I'll find you. Don't move.
He fingers a glow-in-the-dark globe, looking for Eurydice. Scene 13, Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Tell me another story of when you were little.
Oh, let's see. This is my first piano recital. I was playing I Got Rhythm. I played the first few chords, and I couldn't remember the rest. I ran out of the room, locked myself in the bathroom.
Well, then what happened?
Your grandmother pulled me out of the bathroom and made me apologize to everyone in the auditorium. I never played piano after that, but I still know the first 4 chords. Let's see.
He plays the chords in the air with his hands.
Da da dee da, da da dee da, da da dee da.
What are the words?
I don't remember. Let's see. Da da dee da, da da dee da.
They both start singing to the tune of I've Got Rhythm.
Da da dee
Dee da,
da,
da
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 dee da, da da
da
dee
dee
da,
da,
da dee da
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 da doo
da
dee dee
da,
da,
da
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 da da. What is that
What is
noise?
that noise?
Stop
We got another
singing.
friend in you.
Stop singing.
Neither of you can carry a tune.
It's awful.
Dead
Dead
people
people can't
Can
sing.
sing.
I'm not a very good singer.
Neither am I.
Stop singing
singing and
and
go
Go to work.
Scene 14. The father leaves for work. He takes his briefcase. He waves to Eurydice. She waves back. She is all alone in the string room. She touches the string. A child, the lord of the underworld, enters on his red tricycle. Music from a heavy metal band accompanies his entrance. His clothes and his hat are too small for him. He stops pedaling at the entrance to the string room.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I am the Lord of the Underworld.
Very funny.
I am.
Prove it.
I can do chin-ups inside your bones. Close your eyes.
She closes her eyes.
Ow!
See?
What do you want?
You're pretty.
I'm dead.
You're pretty.
You're little.
I grow downward like a turnip.
What do you want?
I wanted to see if you were comfortable.
Comfortable.
You're not itchy?
No.
That's good. Sometimes our residents get itchy and I scratch them.
I'm not itchy.
It's on this string.
It's my room.
Rooms are not allowed. Tell her. Rooms are not allowed. Who made your room?
My father.
Fathers are not allowed. Where is he?
He's at work.
We'll have to dip you in the river again and make sure you're good and dunked.
Please don't.
Ooh. Say that again. Nice.
Please don't.
Say it in my ear.
Please don't.
I like that.
Please don't.
And I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
He blows on her face.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I have a husband.
Husbands are for children. You need a lover. I'll be back. See that she's comfortable. We will. Goodbye.
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 Bye.
I'm growing. Can you tell I'm growing?
He laughs his hysterical laugh and speeds away on his red bicycle. Scene 15. A big storm. The sound of rain on a roof. Orpheus in a rain slicker, shouting above the storm.
If a drop of water enters the soil at a particular angle with a particular pitch, what's to say a man can't ride one note into the earth like a fireman's pole?
He puts a bucket on the ground to catch rain falling. He looks at the rain falling into the bucket. He tunes his guitar, trying to make the pitch of each note correspond with the pitch of each water drop. Orpheus wonders if one particular pitch might lead him to the underworld. Orpheus wonders if the pitch he is searching for might correspond to the pitch of a drop of rain as it enters the soil. A pitch. I believe that's you, Orpheus.
What? What'd I miss? Oh, because I'm looking at her name and I'm reading it at, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're
totally
good.
my fault.
You're good.
Eurydice, did you hear that?
Another pitch.
Eurydice, that's the note. That one right there.
Scene 16. Eurydice and her father in the string room.
Orpheus never liked words. He had his music. He would get a funny look on his face and I would say, "What are you thinking about?" And he would always be thinking about music. If we were in a restaurant, sometimes I would get embarrassed because Orpheus looked sullen and wouldn't talk to me, and I thought people felt sorry for me. I should have realized that women envied me. Their husbands talked too much. But I wanted to talk to him about my notions. I was working on a new philosophical system. It involved hats. This is what it is to love an artist. The moon is always rising above your house. The houses of your neighbors look dull and lacking in moonlight, but he is always going away from you. Inside his head, there's always something more beautiful. Orpheus said the mind is a slide ruler. It can fit around anything. Words can mean anything. Show me your body, he said. It only means one thing.
She looks at her father, embarrassed for revealing too much.
Or maybe 2 or 3 things. But only one thing at a time.
Scene 17.
Eurydice! Before I go down there, I won't practice my music. Some say practice, but practice is a word invented by cowards. The animals don't have a word for practice. A gazelle does not run for practice. He runs because he is scared or he is hungry. A bird doesn't sing for practice. She sings because she's happy or sad. So I say, store it up. The music sounds better in my head than it does in the world. When the songs are pressing against my throat, then, only then, I will go down and sing for the devils, and they will cry through their parched throats. Eurydice, don't kiss a dead man. Their lips look red and tempting, but put your tongue in their mouths and it tastes like oatmeal. I know how much you hate oatmeal. I'm going the way of death. Here is my plan. Tonight, when I go to bed, I will turn off the light and put a straw in my mouth. When I fall asleep, I will crawl through the straw and my breath will push me like a great wind into the darkness, and I will sing your name and I will arrive. I have consulted the almanacs, the footstools, and the architects, and everyone agrees. Wait for me. Love, Orpheus.
Scene 18.
I got a letter from Orpheus.
You sound serious. Nothing wrong, I hope.
No,
What did he say?
he says he's going to come find me.
How?
He's going to sing.
Scene 19. Darkness. An unearthly light surrounds Orpheus. He holds a straw up to his lips in slow motion. He blows into the straw. The sound of breath, he disappears. Scene 20. The sound of a knock.
Someone is knocking.
Who is it?
Who is it?
The sound of 3 loud knocks, insistent.
No one.
No one knocks at
At
the
the
door of
of
the
the dead.
Third movement. Scene 1. Orpheus stands at the gates of hell. He opens his mouth. He looks like he's singing, but he's silent. Music surrounds him. The melody Orpheus hummed in the first scene repeated over and over again. Raspberries, peaches, and plums drop from the ceiling into the river. Orpheus keeps singing. The stones weep. They look at their tears bewildered. Orpheus keeps singing. The child comes out of a trapdoor.
Who are you?
I am Orpheus.
I am the Lord of the Underworld.
But you're so young.
Don't be rude.
Sorry. Did you like my music?
No, I prefer happy music with a nice beat.
Oh,
You've come for Eurydice,
yes.
and you thought singing would get you through the gates of hell.
See here, I want my wife. What do I have to do?
You'll have to do more than sing.
I'm not sure what you mean, sir.
Start walking home. Your wife might be on the road behind you. We make it real nice here, so people want to stick around as you walk. Keep your eyes facing front. If you look back at her, poof, she's gone.
I can't look at her?
No,
Why?
because.
Because?
Because. Do you understand me?
I look straight ahead. That's all.
Yes.
That's easy.
Good.
Child smiles. He exits. Scene 2, Eurydice and her father.
I hear him at the gates. That's his music. He's come to save me.
Do you want to go with him?
Yes, of course. Oh. You'll be lonely, won't you?
No. No. You should go to your husband. You should have grandchildren. You'll all come down and meet me one day.
Are you sure?
You should love your family until the grapes throw dust on their purple faces. I'll take you to him.
Now?
It's for the best.
He takes her arm. They process, arm in arm, as at a wedding. Wedding music. They are solemn and glad. They walk. They see Orpheus up ahead.
Is that him?
Yes. I think so.
His shoulders aren't very broad. Can he take care of you?
Eurydice nods.
Are you sure?
Yes.
There's only one thing you need to know. If he turns around and sees you, you'll die a second death. Those are the rules. So step quietly. Don't cry out.
I won't.
Goodbye.
They embrace.
I'll come back to you. I seem to keep dying.
Don't let them dip you in the river too long the second time. Hold your breath.
I'll look for a tree.
I'll write the letters.
Where will I find them?
I don't know yet. I'll think of something. Goodbye, Eurydice.
Goodbye.
They move away. The father waves. She waves back as though on an old steamer ship. The father exits. Eurydice takes a deep breath. She takes a big step forward toward the audience on an unseen gangplank. She is brave. She takes another step forward. She hesitates. She's all of a sudden not so brave. She is afraid. She looks back. She turns in the direction of her father, her back to the audience. He's out of sight.
Wait. Come back.
You can't go back now, Eurydice.
Face forward.
Keep walking.
I'm afraid.
Your husband is waiting for you, Eurydice.
I don't recognize him. That's a stranger.
Go on. That's him.
I want to go home. I want my father.
You're all grown up now. You have a husband.
Turn
Turn
around.
Why?
Because
That's a stupid reason.
Orpheus braved the gates of hell to find you.
he played the saddest music.
Even we.
The
The
stones
stones.
cried when we heard it.
Eurydice turns slowly, facing front.
That's Orpheus?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
that's
it.
him.
Yeah.
Where's his music?
It's
in your
your
head.
head.
Orpheus walks slowly in a straight line, with the focus of a tightrope walker. Eurydice moves to follow him. She follows him several steps behind. They walk. Eurydice follows him with precision, one step for every step he takes. She makes a decision. She increases her pace. She takes 2 steps for every step that Orpheus takes. She catches up to him.
Orpheus?
He turns around. He turns toward her, startled. Orpheus looks at Eurydice. Eurydice looks at Orpheus. The world falls away.
You startled me.
A small sound, ping. They turn their faces away from each other, matter of fact, compelled. The lights turn blue.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know.
You always clapped your
I could
hands
never
on
spell the word
third
rhythm.
beat. You could never
such a
wait for the fourth.
Difficult
Remember,
word to spell.
I tried to reach you.
R-Y.
You were
No,
always
there's an H in it.
one
Somewhere
step
a
ahead of
breath.
music.
R-H.
Your sense of rhythm.
Rih.
It was
Rih.
off. I would say clap on the downbeat. No, the downbeat. It's dangerous not to have a sense of rhythm. You lose things when you can't keep a simple beat. Why do you have to say my name, Eurydice?
I'm sorry.
I know we used to fight. It seems so silly now. If
Ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no need for tinkers.
why?
They begin walking away from each other on extensive unseen boardwalks, their figures long shadows looking straight ahead.
If ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no need for tinkers.
Eurydice,
I think I see the gates. The stones, the boat, it looks familiar. The
don't look.
stones look happy to see me.
Don't look.
Wow. That's the happiest I've ever seen them. Everything is so gray. It
Think of
looks
things
familiar,
we did.
like home.
We
Our
went
house
ice
was
skating.
gray with a red door.
I wore a
We
red
had
sweater.
2 cats and 2 dogs and 2 fish that died.
Will you talk to me?
The train looks like the opposite of a train.
Eurydice, we've known each other for centuries. I want to reminisce. Remember when you wanted your name in a song? So I put your name in a song. When I played my music, the gates of hell, I was singing your name over and over again. Eurydice,
He grows quiet. They walk away from each other on extended lines until they are out of sight. Scene 3.
Finally, some peace.
some peace.
And quiet.
Like the
Like
old
the
days.
old days. No,
No
music.
No
No
conversation.
Conversation.
How about that?
About that?
With Eurydice gone, it will be a second death for me. Oh, please, sir.
We're tired.
Do you understand the love a father has for his daughter? Love is a big, funny word.
Dead people should be seen and not heard.
The father looks at the stones. He looks at the string room. He dismantles the string room, matter of fact. There's nothing else to do. This can take time. It takes time to dismantle a room made of string. Music. He sits down in what used to be the string room.
How does a person remember to forget? Difficult.
It's not difficult.
We told you how it works.
Dip
Dip
yourself
yourself
in the
river.
Dip yourself in the river.
Dip yourself in the river.
Dip yourself in the river. I need directions.
That's ridiculous.
There are no directions.
Father thinks.
I remember. Take Tri-State South 294 to Route 88 West. Take Route 88 West to Route 80. You go over a bridge, go 3 miles, and you'll come to the exit for Middle Road. Proceed 3 or 4 miles. Duck Creek Park will be on the right. Take a left on Fernwood Avenue. Continue straight on Fernwood Pass. 2 intersections. Go straight. Fernwood will curve to the right, leading you to Forest Road. Take a left on Forest Road. Go 2 blocks. Pass the first entrance to the alley on the right. Take the second entrance. You go about 100 yards. A red brick house will be on the right. Look for Illinois license plates. Go inside the house in the living room. Look out the window. You'll see the lights on the Mississippi River. Take off your shoes. Walk down the hill. You'll pass a tree good for climbing on the right. Cross the road. Watch for traffic. Cross the train tracks. Catfish is sleeping in the mud on your left. Roll up your jeans. Count to 10. Put your feet in the river and swim.
He dips himself in the river. A small metallic sound of forgetfulness. Ping. The sound of water. He lies down on the ground, curled up, asleep. Eurydice returns and sees that her string room is gone.
Where's my room?
Stones are silent.
Where is my room? Answer me.
It's none of our business.
What are you doing here?
You should be with your husband.
Up there.
Where is my father?
Stones point to the father.
Why is he sleeping?
Stones shrug their shoulders.
I've come back.
He can't hear you.
It's too late.
What are you talking about?
He dipped himself in the river.
My father did not dip himself in the river.
He did.
We
saw
him.
him.
He wanted some peace and quiet.
He did not. Listen, I'll teach you the words, and then we'll know each other again. Ready? We'll start with my name. Eurydice. E-U-R-Y.
He can't hear you.
He can't see you.
He can't remember you.
I hate you. I've always hated you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Listen, I'll tell you a story.
He can't hear you.
He can't see you.
He can't remember you.
Try speaking in the language of stones.
It's a very quiet language. Like if the pores in your face opened up and wanted to talk.
Stone, rock, tree, rock, stone.
It doesn't work. She holds her father.
Didn't you already mourn for your father, young lady?
Some things should be left well enough alone.
To mourn twice is excessive.
To mourn 3 times is thin.
Life is like a good meal.
Only gluttons want more food when they finish their helping.
Learn to be more moderate.
It's weird for a
weird
dead
for
person.
a dead person to be morbid.
We don't like to watch it.
We don't like to see it.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Eurydice cries.
Don't
No.
Don't
cry.
cry. Don't
Don't
cry.
Cry.
Learn the art of keeping busy.
Oh, it's hard to keep busy when you're dead.
It is not
It's
hard.
not
It's not
hard.
hard.
We keep
We
busy.
keep busy
And we like
we
it.
like it.
We're
We're
busy,
busy,
busy
stones.
stones. Watch us work.
Watch us work.
Keeping still.
Still.
Keeping quiet.
Keeping
Quiet.
quiet.
It's hard
It's
work
hard work
to
to
be
be
a
a
stone.
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 No time for
No
crying.
time for crying.
No,
No.
No, no,
no.
no.
I hate you. I've always hated you.
She runs toward the stones and tries to hit them.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Try
Try to hit us.
us.
You'll hurt your fist.
You'll break your hand. Ah,
Enter the child. He has grown. He is now at least 10 feet tall. His voice sounds suspiciously like the nasty, interesting man's.
Is there a problem here?
No, sir.
no, sir.
You chose to stay with us, huh? Good.
He looks her over.
Perhaps to be my bride.
I told you, you're too young.
I'll be the judge of that. I've grown.
Yes, I see that.
I'm ready to be a man now. I'm ready to be a man.
Please leave me alone.
I'll have them start preparing the satins and silks. You can't refuse me. I've made my choice. I'm ready to be a man now.
Can I have a moment to prepare myself?
Don't be long. Wedding songs are already being written. They're very quiet. inaudible, you might say. A dirt-filled orchestra for my bride. Don't trouble the songs with your music, I say. A song is two dead bodies rubbing under the covers to keep warm.
He exits.
Well,
Well,
well. You had better prepare yourself.
There's nothing to prepare.
you had better comb your hair.
You had better find a veil.
I don't need a veil. I need a pen.
Pens are forbidden here.
I need a pencil then.
Pencils too.
God damn you. I'll dip you in the river.
Too late.
Too late.
There must be a pen. There must be.
She remembers the pen and paper in the breast pocket of her father's coat. She takes them out. She holds the pen up to show the stones. She gloats.
A pen.
She writes a letter.
Dear Orpheus, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was afraid. I'm not worthy of you. But I still love you, I think. Don't try to find me again. You would be lonely for music. I want you to be happy. I want to marry you again. I am going to write out instructions for your next wife. To my husband's next wife, be gentle. Be sure to comb his hair when it's wet. Do not fail to notice that his face flushes pink like a bride's when you kiss him. Give him lots to eat. He forgets to eat and he gets cranky. When he's sad, kiss his forehead, and I will thank you. Because he is a young prince, and his robes are too heavy on him. His crown falls down around his ears. I'll give this letter to a worm. I hope he finds you. Love, Eurydice.
She puts the letter on the ground. She dips herself in the river. A small metallic sound of forgetfulness. Ping. The sound of water. She lies down next to her father as though asleep. The sound of an elevator. Ding. Orpheus appears in the elevator. He sees Eurydice. He is happy. The elevator starts raining on Orpheus. He forgets. He steps out of the elevator. He sees the letter on the ground. He picks it up. He scrutinizes it. He can't read it. He stands on it. He closes his eyes. The sound of water. Then silence. The end.
Alyssa, the sass when you said the pen was epic.
Pen.
I was just like, yes.
Well, that was a cheerful little ditty, wasn't it?
Right. What a joy.
I think
Beautiful.
that's the first time, though, when at least on nights when I've read that the actors have cried during the play. Other people have cried during the other plays, but I think this is the first time that we as actors were in tears while we were doing the part. That was good.
I mean, it's
I know
it's hard not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very
Try as we might.
It's a very sweet play. It's a very touching play in so many different ways. Did I? Oh yeah, I did that right. Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll get this over with quickly. Go support charity. Today we're and yesterday we're promoting Trans Liberation Art Coalition. Go help people tell stories. Storytelling is a terrific way of preserving memory, of preserving feeling, of preserving situational occurrences, depending upon, whatever it be, cultures. It's really important. So go support storytelling and art for people that have consistently been cast out inside of this world that we live in. As thus far, I have hope things will get better and things will be a beautiful, better world for all of us, including all of us that are not represented on the daily. So yeah, go support, go donate to this charity, wonderful charity. Besides that, Andy and Erin are not here, so I guess it's kind of up to Tom and I. We are deciding this next week's play, which I believe is The Wolves. I'm just going to bring up the facts real quick.
I don't think the voting is even that close. I think it's 9 to 5. The second one is.
Yeah. So this next week we are doing The Wolves play.
That's the girls' soccer team, right?
Yeah, soccer team.
Well, you guys have a blast with that one.
You don't want to be soccer mom, Bob?
Oh no, I want to play a teenage girl instead. No, I don't want anything. No, you got plenty of women who can do that.
That's true.
I'm going to sit out the week, and hopefully the following week there'll be something more my speed.
10. So we've got 10 roles. I guess it's just a matter of Val and Alyssa, if you guys are interested, and Angela, since we're here. Thanks for being here. If you want to be a part of it, let us know. We'll obviously post a call for things, so you can just remind us that you're interested then. But since you're here, you get first picks and letting us know if you want to be a part of it. You're a part of it. So this week we'll be reading The Wolves. As far as following up on Eurydice, please come to the Monday night discussion. I think, everybody that's here tonight has been to a discussion. You all know how fun and great it is. It's super low pressure in terms of an actual discussion and also in terms of being there. Obviously, we want you there, but if you can't make it, it's not a big deal. Just as reading with us is, that we've experienced tonight. We can do these things with 5 people for a show of 8 or whatever. But yeah, come to discussions. It's fun. It's also just a delight for the 4 of us miscreants to be able to see all of you all, because you're just delightful pieces of our life. But yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to say? No worries if not, but I just want to make sure that everybody's included before I press stop recording.
No, I mean, I guess just thank you. Thank you again for letting me come and be a part of this.
It's our pleasure, both for you, Alyssa and Val. And Bob, if you are still here, I don't know, it seems like you're trying to leave, but Bob, Angela as well, when you read, it's definitely just super much entirely our pleasure to experience your talents and your perspectives. We're very grateful. Life isn't anything without the people around you, and we're very lucky to have you wonderful people around us. Cool. Well, I'm gonna press stop recording then, unless Tom, do you have anything else that you have to say important wise?
Nope.
Cool. I'm pressing stop recording.